Hello, dear student. Let us continue the second part of your second chapter, Social and Political Life. Dear boys, in our previous discussion, we have learned understanding secularism. What is secularism? Why is it important to separate religion from the state? So far, we have discussed about that. So now, let us continue the remaining portion of the chapter. What is Indian secularism? The Indian constitution mandates that the Indian state be secular. Our constitution, Indian constitution, it has the authority to carry out a policy that the Indian state be secular. According to the constitution, only a secular state can realize its objectives to ensure the following. First point, that one religious community does not dominate another. So any particular religious community that does not have power and influence over another. Second point, that some members do not dominate their members of the same religious community. Some members do not dominate other members of the same religious community. Means here, some members do not have power and influence over other members of the same religious community. Third point, that the state does not enforce any particular religion nor take away the religious freedom of individuals. So the third point is the state does not enforce any particular religion to everyone who is make bound to follow that religion, nor take away the religious freedom of individuals. Means such thing has not given in our constitution. So such right has not given in our constitution. The Indian state works in various ways to prevent the above domination. First, it uses a strategy of distancing itself from religion. The first one you see, it uses a strategy in which itself is distancing from religion. The Indian state is not ruled by a religious group, and nor does it support any other religion. Indian state is not, that means, ruled by a religious group, and nor does it support any one religion. Means governments, one particular religion is not there which they stick, that means everyone has to follow it. In India, government spaces like law courts, police stations, government schools and offices are not supposed to display or promote any one religion. See, so in our India, government spaces like law courts, police stations, government schools and offices are not supposed to display or promote, that means, any one religion. Let us see some examples it has given here in page number 22. In a government school in Shimapur, students want to celebrate a religious festival. See here, government high school. Here, student, that means a student, she asked to their teacher, "Sir, there is a big religious festival next month. We have never celebrated it in school. Can we do it this year?" So, those students, that means they said, they asked to their teacher, "Sir, there is a big religious festival, the festival which is based on religions, next month. So, they are asking uh, permission from the sir." And they said, "We have never celebrated it in school. Can we do it this year?" In the reply, what teacher said, let us see the next circle. I'm afraid that is not possible. Rekha. Rekha is the name of a student. So sir replied, he's afraid that is not possible because we do not have any rules to celebrate any particular festivals based on any religion in a school. This is a government school, especially in the government school. This is a government school. We cannot give importance to any one religion. Private schools may do that. Government school do not celebrate any religious festivals in the school premises. So, uh, it shows here their school, the school where Rekha was studying, that is a government school. So, their teacher said, we cannot give importance to any one religion. Of course, private schools, they may do that. Government schools don't celebrate any religious festivals in the school campus, the school area. They do not allow. It is against rule. Most religious festivals are public holidays so that we can celebrate this at home. So generally we are having holidays, that means in the most religious festival. So in that public holidays we can celebrate it at our home, but not that means they are in the school. Let us see another one. I never thought of it this way. I guess we can always celebrate it outside school. So, see, the respondent means it said, I never thought of it this way. I guess, I hope we can always celebrate it outside school. Anyway, we were planning to celebrate it in our locality. So the girl said, anyway, we are we were planning to celebrate the religious festival in their own locality, the place where they are living. In the above storyboard, the celebration of the religious festival within the school would have been violation of the government's policy of treating all religions equally. So in the above storyboard which is given there, the celebration of the religious festival inside the school campus would have been a violation of the government's policy. So it will be violated the policy of the government of treating all religions equally. It will come, that means against other religions. So government schools cannot promote any one religion either in their morning prayers or through religious celebration. Government school, they cannot promote any particular religion. Either that means at the beginning of the day in the morning prayers in school or through religious celebrations. This rule does not apply to private schools. Such thing it is not apply in the private schools. Private schools, of course, they can do it. It is according to their own choice. But government school do not allow. It is against the rule again, boys. You must remember. The second way in which Indian secularism works to prevent the above domination is through a strategy of non-interference. See, the second way here in which Indian secularism works to prevent the above exercise of power or influence over someone is through a strategy. Strategy means overall aim of non-interference, means to handle any other, not to handle in others. This means that in order to respect the sentiments of all religions and not interfere with religious practice, the state makes certain exceptions for particular religious communities. It means here that in order to respect the sentiments of all religions and not interfere with religious practices, the state makes different exceptions for particular religious communities. A group of friends who have recently bought scooters are meeting to go for a ride together. Hey, I hope you have a helmet. You know, the law in Delhi requires that you wear one. Why aren't you wearing a helmet? Do you want to be fined? So she here, a boy who wear helmet. So that means he reached in the school with a scooter, and then uh, when that means he was sorry when he was riding a scooter at that time, that means he wear a helmet. She asked to a Sikh community person, see, hey, I hope you have a helmet. You know, the law in Delhi requires that you wear one. Here that means he mean that every person should wear a helmet. Why aren't you wearing a helmet? So to ride a scooter, one need to wear a helmet. But as he saw that a Sikh community person, he was not wearing that, so he said so. And do you want to be fined? In the reply, the Sikh community person, he replied, "Don't worry, I will not be fined." Hey Paramjit, why won't you be fined? He asked that to Sikh community person. Why won't you be fined? Why? That means he is not going to be fined. For Sikhs, wearing a pagri, pagri means turban, boys. For Sikhs, wearing a pagri is a very important part of our religion, means for Sikh communities. The government cannot force me to wear a helmet. So it is against their rule. So government cannot force them to wear a helmet as he belongs to a Sikh community. In the above storyboard, Paramjit, the Sikh youth, does not have to wear a helmet. This is because the Indian state recognizes that wearing a pagri and turban is central to a Sikh's religious practice, and in order not to interfere with this allows an exception in the law. See in the above storyboard here, boys. Paramjit, the Sikh youth, does not have to wear a helmet. This is because the Indian state recognizes that wearing a pagri is central to a Sikh's religious practice, and in order not to interfere with this allows an exception in the law. So they need not to wear this helmet, as they put, that means their pagri. So it is exceptional by the law. By the law. Now let us see the third one. The third way in which Indian secularism works to prevent the domination listed earlier is through a strategy of intervention. You read earlier in this chapter about untouchability. This is a good example where members of the same religion, that is upper caste belongs Hindus, dominate other members, some lower caste within it. In order to prevent this religion based exclusion and discrimination of lower caste, the Indian constitution bans untouchability. Here, in order to prevent this religion based exclusion and discrimination and to bring them in the equal status, okay, of lower caste, the Indian constitution bans this untouchability. This untouchability is a social evil. So government, or that means our Indian constitution, bans it. In this instance, the state is intervening in the religion in order to end a social practice that it believes discriminates and excludes and violates the fundamental rights of lower castes who are citizens of this country. Here, in this instance means in example, okay, the state is intervening, extending. Intervening means extending in religion in order to end social practice, which were that means practice in the society that it believes discriminates and excludes and that violates the fundamental rights. So yes, that means it is that means practicing. So it violates, it affects, that means our fundamental rights of lower caste who are citizens of this country. Similarly, to ensure that law relating to equal inheritance rights are respected, the state may have to intervene in the religion based personal laws of communities. Here, in the same way, to make certain that it will occur that laws relating to equal inheritance rights are respected here. The state may have to intervene in the religion based personal laws of communities. Now, here state may have to look after that or handle in the religion based personal laws of communities. The intervention of the state can also be in the form of support, The Indian Constitution grants the right to religious communities to set up their own schools and colleges. Here, the Indian Constitution, it has granted the right to religious communities in order to set up their own schools and colleges of their own choice. It also gives them financial aid on a non preferential basis. So, government, that means, provided them financial help also on a non preference basis. In what way is Indian secularism different from that of other democratic countries? Now let us see. Our Indian secularism, it is not same with other democratic countries. Let us see how it is different. Some of the above objectives are similar to those that have been included in the constitution of secular democratic countries in other parts of the world. Some of the objectives, aim and objects are same to those that have been included in the constitution of secular democratic countries in other parts of the world. For example, the First Amendment of the US Constitution prohibits the legislature from making laws respecting an establishment of religion or that prohibit the free exercise of religion. See, as example, the First Amendment is of the USA, where US Constitution, it prohibits means ban the legislature in order to make laws respecting an establishment of religion or that prohibit the free exercise of religion. What is meant by the word establishment is that the legislature cannot declare any religion as the official religion, nor can they give preference to one religion. In the USA, the separation between state and religion means that neither the state nor religion can interfere in the affairs of one another. So, here in the USA, the separation between state and the religion means that neither the state nor the religion can interfere in the matter of one another. There is one significant way in which Indian secularism differs from the dominant understanding of secularism as practiced in the United States of America. So there here, that means, boys, one meaningful way in which our Indian secularism, it is different from the dominant understanding of secularism as practiced in the United States of America. This is because, unlike the strict separation between religion and state in America's secularism, in Indian secularism, the state can intervene in religious affairs. So, in our Indian, that means secularism, the state can intervene in religious matter. You have read about how the Indian Constitution intervened in Hindu religious practices in order to abolish untouchability. Finish, that means untouchability. How Hindi religious practices. So Indian Constitution, how that means it is trying. You have learned. In Indian secularism, though the state is not strictly separate from religion, it does maintain a principled distance vis-a-vis religion. So here in Indian secularism, though the state is not strictly separate from religion, it does maintain a main distance here based on a given set of rules of that religion. This be based on the ideas laid out in the constitution. Ideas that perfect, okay? This be based. This means that any interference in religion by the state no has to be based on the perfect laid out in the constitution. These ideals serve as the standard through which we can judge whether the state is or is not behaving according to secular principles. So, this perfect thing, that means we serve, or these ideals, it serve as the standard through which we can judge, that means know whether the state is or is not behaving according to secular fundamentals truth. Secular principles means secular here, fundamentals truth. The Indian state is secular and works in various ways to prevent religious domination. Indian state is secular and works in various ways, in different ways, to prevent religious domination. The Indian Constitution grants fundamental rights that are based on these secular principles. So our Indian Constitution, it grants fundamental rights that are based on these secular principles. However, this is not to say that there is no violation of these rights in Indian society. Indeed, it is precisely because such violations happen frequently that we need a constitutional mechanism to prevent them from happening. Here, indeed, it is precisely, indeed, that means we find, however, this is not to say that there is no violation which is happening of these rights in Indian society. Indeed, it is precisely that means in exact terms, because such violations happen again and again, that we need a constitutional mechanism to prevent them from happening. So there should be constitutional mechanism in order to stop such thing. The knowledge that such rights exist make us sensitive to their violation and enables us to take action when these violations take place. So the knowledge that such rights exist, it makes us sensitive in order to their violation and enables us to take actions or precautions when such violations take place. Boys, here under, that means in the box, you read it, it will be helpful for you. So in February 2004, France passed a law banning students from wearing any conspicuous uh, conspic- uh, conspicuous religious or political signs or symbols such as the Islamic headscarf, the Jewish skull cap, or large Christian crosses. This law has encountered a lot of resistance from immigrants. Immigrants means a person who comes to live permanently in a foreign country, who are mainly from the former French colonies of Algeria, Tunisia, and Morocco. In 1960s, France had faced a shortage of workers and therefore had provided visas for these immigrants to come and work in the country. The daughters of these immigrants often wear headscarves while attending school. However, with the passing of this new law, they have been expelled from their school for wearing headscarves. It depends on that means the rules of that country was. So let's up to here for today. Thank you all.